Hey guys, it's me, Armyman Productions here, and we're back with another Armyman review. In today's review, it's actually going to be about a series called Plastic Platoon, made by J Cobra Studios. It's basically a bunch of, platoon men working with the Greens to fight the Tans, because apparently the Greens are really bad at fighting. So, as I am making this video, he had made a new video on his channel called Armyman The Final Battle Trailer, which is, I'm assuming, the final episode of Plastic Platoon. So if you want to see that, I'll leave it in the link below. And if you want to see his episode come out, I would recommend subscribing to his channel, another thing that I will leave in the description. And if you want to see my review about that episode alone, I would recommend subscribing to my channel, liking this video, and making sure you hit that bell for notifications. So let's get started. Spoilers for the first 8 episodes, if you guys kind of didn't realize yet.
Home, a place of refuge and a place of peace, but not anymore. Not for the Plastic Platoon.
So the first episode is about the Greens losing the war against the Tans. So they initiate Operation Plastic Platoon, which calls on Bullseye, Scorch, Hoover, Shrap, Thick, and Riff, all people from the Plastic Platoon, and their mission is to gather intel about the Tans' new secret weapon in the kitchen. So the episode itself isn't bad. The story is decent enough to, watch it without having to put, chlorine in your eyes, as most stop motions usually do, like, super, frame rates. That's all I can say about it. It's not pretty. It's like they teleport every second. It's terrible. But, the frames here, much better than most stop motions that are made within 10-second videos, and the story here is building, so it gives us something to look forward to instead of just one-off episode that is never to be seen again. So my one critic thing here is that if you want to improve it in the future, maybe you can, but I think it's fine the way it is. That's actually kind of it. Time for episode 2! So, the second episode, Operation Infiltration, is actually when they figure out the super weapon, which is some sort of transporting beam or super plasma cannon that completely obliterates whatever it shoots at, only one object though, which seems kind of useless. You might as well make 10 of these things if you're really going at it. So I'm assuming it's a prototype, or maybe it's just hands aren't as smart as I assumed. It's shielded, however, which causes a problem for the Greens. So they have the Plastic Platoon split up into groups so that they can take out each of the shield generators, or buttons as they call it in this series, and they then send all their troops together in one group to take out the super weapon. What happens next is actually shocking, because I don't see this very often in stop motions, but the Tans then show up with reinforcements out of the castle, and they completely blow up all the Greens, because like I stated before, the Greens aren't really good at fighting for some reason. And now the Plastic Platoon has to fight this transformer, which they kind of realize would not be the smartest idea, so they just give in and surrender. And that's kind of the episode. Now, the general overview, in my opinion, is that I like how he took time to show the preparations of the battle. Now, the humor in this episode is something I actually enjoy, because the humor, one of the jokes in it is how bland their walls are, because it's made of tan blocks, and that their distraction was, hey, I'm actually here to paint your walls because they look so bland. Look around and tell me how bland they are. And then they turn around and they're like, oh yeah, this is totally bland. I can see why you wanted to paint the walls. And as they're turned around, the group shows up and completely kills all the tans in the area. And I thought, oh, that's kind of funny. So, yeah, that's kind of it. Like, the humor is funny. The, main plot of it isn't too difficult to understand. And it can kind of actually be watched without having to watch the last episode because really don't need an introduction. They kind of tell you what they found. And it kind of sets up for this new episode to be something different. So the next episode is obviously a lot different from the previous episodes because, well, it's kind of not looking good for the Plastic Platoon, which is not good because the Greens can't fight because they're terrible at fighting. So the episode, in summary, is that they're in prison and Bullseye is being brainwashed. It's a unique way of brainwashing. They just have a coat of tan just put over the color. So there, he's tan now. Ooh, scary. So, as that's going on, the rest of the crew is in a battle royale, which obviously is a payoff to the battle royale game or PUBG. But with all seriousness, they are put into a battle royale and they're forced to kill their allies, and the top 5 get a quote-unquote grand reward. And obviously, the Plastic Platoon wins the war, or battle royale, if you will. And they are brought to see their tan army and seeing their friend Bullseye be turned to a tan. And they are told that they will also be turned into tans. And then it just ends right there. That's it. You're just gonna have to wait till the next episode. Oh, scary. Now, with all seriousness, this episode was... I felt like they did a good job of not just basing it off the Battle Royale too much. Like, you can see in their video, they have, the guns animated in there, their hotbar, and their health. Overall, it was actually kind of decent, and I kind of liked it. And, well, after they won and they saw what happened, I felt like, ooh, this next episode's gonna be good. And oh, how good it is. Let's go look at it. So, where we last saw the heroes, Plastic Platoon, they were about to be turned into tan. So they're in their prison and they're waiting to be turned into tan soldiers because they can't really do anything else because, prison. But a new character shows up to rescue them, and his name is Lucky. And Lucky breaks the rest of the platoon out of their prison and tries to get them back to the base. There's a car chase, and they prevail. The Plastic Platoon, of course. Because in this scene, tans don't really know how to shoot a rocket launcher properly at all. It's kind of embarrassing. Now, Bullseye, who, as I've stated already, has been turned into a tan, figures out the location of where they went and sends everything they got at them. Like, a battle ensues once again in the base. I mean, I'm speechless. I'm literally speechless. And then there's a defense for the Greens, which they hold up pretty darn well from what we've seen previously. And then they sent in their super tank, and that kind of messed everything up, including their wall. Did you see that wall? It just went, yeah, bonk. That giant tank probably crushed everyone who just went through there a couple seconds ago. But anywho, the Greens are about to be completely decimated until they sent the Plastic Platoon in a cannon over, take out the super tank, use the super tank to take out everything else. And as they're, capturing their general, the tan general that, was there, Bullseye gets out of the tank because I guess they didn't realize, he's not good. Did they kind of just forget, oh, he's not a good guy anymore? But anywho, he gets out of the tank and he goes into a helicopter they just so happen to have next to the battle, and he leaves, which leads to the Christmas episode. Now, the only thing that probably was weird is that they introduced Lucky right after they turned Bullseye into a villain. And I'm not sure if they were planning to replace him like that or not. That might be one of the many questions left unanswered.